Hello, hello, and welcome back. This is Robin Norgren. You are here because you want to learn, like for real, how does a beginner start to learn about herbal medicine? And this series is about looking at those everyday spices that you probably have in your kitchen, and you're trying to figure out, well, what exactly do I need to do to make this go from a seasoning to an actual herbal medicine that is of benefit to me and those that I love. So make sure and check in the playlist for the other spices that I've done so far. Today I'm going to focus on cinnamon. Okay, so this is based on my very first book that I'm reading on herbal medicine. It is Rosemary Gladstar's Medicinal Herbs. Beautiful book, beautifully laid out. And so, yes, if you have a chance, make sure and pick up this book. It is a gorgeous book. Let's talk about cinnamon. Cinnamon is a familiar kitchen spice around the world, adding fragrance and warmth to everything from breakfast cereal and cookies to curries and roasts. But what most people don't realize is that cinnamon is also potent, powerful, well-researched medicine. Cinnamon is actually the bark of fast-growing trees, members of the laurel family, native to Sri Lanka and to India. The bark is harvested from young shoots and that sprout from the stumps of the trees, which are cut back every couple of years. The bark is high in essential oils, coumarines, tannins, and other chemical constituents that help define its medicinal uses. Casa, a close relative of cinnamon, is native to China, where it is used much like its cousin in medicinal and edible preparations. However, cassia tends to be warmer, more fragrant, and stronger tasting. But the two can be, and often are, used interchangeably. So here's a picture of the cinnamon. Okay. And then there's a little note here that says what we know as cinnamon stick is actually the inner bark of young plant shoots. All right, so next I want to go into growing cinnamon. A tropical native, cinnamon prefers warm, moist conditions and sandy soil. Depending on the variety, it matures as either a large tree or a large shrub, and definitely will require a large space in the garden. North America generally does not have the best growing conditions for cinnamon, and it is not commonly grown there. But if you happen to live in a particularly warm, moist region and have a large backyard, why not be the first person in the neighborhood to grow your own cinnamon? Okay. Medicinal uses, so that's what we're here for. Because of its warming and stimulating properties, cinnamon is used to boost vitality, improve circulation, and clear congestion. Vitality, circulation, and clear congestion. So let me write that. It is a well-respected digestive aid, particularly for cases of overeating, bloating, sluggish digestion, and one of the best herbs around for stabilizing blood sugar levels. You guys, cinnamon. That feels so counterintuitive to me because cinnamon is sweet, right? That's so interesting to me. It's funny because somebody the other day was talking about cinnamon and I was like, why are they talking about cinnamon? It was just this random conversation. And then here I am reading this. So as you may have heard in my other videos, this is like one of the biggest things that I am dealing with right now is a lot of bloat and a lot of like the digestion is just, it is shiitake, just not working very well. I have done a lot of, I'm like being so calculated with what I'm eating and yet still an issue. So this is like great news. Okay, so it also says one of the best herbs around for stabilizing blood sugar levels. It's also a powerful antiseptic with antiviral and antifungal properties and is often indicated in cases of viral infections, fungal infections, colds, and flus. It says, and finally, because of its sweet, warming flavor, cinnamon is often used in medicinal formulas simply to improve their flavor. Okay, that makes sense. All right, so the parts used are the inner bark of the tree, the powdered, chopped, or as whole sticks. They're used key constituents, essential oils, iron, magnesium, zinc, coumarins, and the safety factor. Though cinnamon is generally considered safe and non-toxic, have you ever seen a warning label on a spice jar in a supermarket? It does have a slight emmenagogic, I'll put it up on the screen, emmenagogic properties, meaning it stimulates the uterus. While it may be useful to help encourage a late menstrual flow, it's not recommended in large amounts in the early stages of pregnancy. Truthfully, though, there aren't any reports of a miscarriage resulting from the use of cinnamon. Okay, but something to keep in mind, right? All right, so like my mind is blown here about the a well-respected digestive aid, particularly for cases of overeating, bloating, and sluggish digestion. And one of the best herbs around for stabilizing blood sugar levels. My gosh, look at already so much information that I am learning here. Comment down below. Did you know this? Have you heard people talking about this? I mean, like in legit general circles. Have you heard people talking about this? And here I am again, like, when did I hear somebody talking about cinnamon? And it was one of those, like, again, it sounds so silly that I'm harping on this. It was one of those random things, like, it's a person that doesn't talk herbal medicine. So they were like talking about it. And I was like, why are you talking about it? Now I know who it is that was talking about it. So now I'm going to say, hey, why were you talking about cinnamon? I must not have been paying attention. I need to know now what you were saying. All right, so here's a couple of recipes that she has put in the book that you might be very interested in knowing about. Actually, quite a few. One of them is a cinnamon ashwagandha rejuvenating milk. And it says the herb ashwagandha is commonly used in Ayurvedic medicine to promote peaceful sleep and as a potent rejuvenating tonic. I bet that's why she was talking about it, because she has trouble sleeping. This warm milk made with ashwagandha and cinnamon and sweetened with a touch of honey is a delicious and nutritive drink, especially useful in the evening for those who have trouble relaxing or falling asleep. You guys, I wonder if it would be useful for menopause. Because, you know, a lot of women in menopause have trouble sleeping. So it says you just take 1 cup of milk. It says cow, almond, rice, or any other, 1 teaspoon of ashwagandha powder, and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon powder, and 1 teaspoon of honey or to taste. Now, I won't be putting the honey in, guys. I'm not a fan of honey. You're learning so much about me. Pesto, honey. Not a fan. I think a lot of this stuff is, as I mentioned in my very first video, I was not introduced to these things as a kid. So I have a pretty good palate now. I've forced myself, but there's just certain things I've tried it and it just hasn't, I don't know if it's not been introduced to me correctly. Pause. Although I will say that I make protein balls and it calls for honey and I do put it in there, but I don't taste the honey in there. So there you go. Hide the honey. Taste. All right, so it says to make the milk, warm the milk, then add the powders and the honey, stir well, taste. I might need to try this, you guys. I've got the milk, got the cinnamon, got the honey, so I just need to get this ashwagandha powder. You guys have any ideas of where I get that? Drop it below. Okay, so then there's another one, a cinnamon ginger tea for menstrual difficulties. I don't need that one. Then it says cinnamon honey. I'm not sure how medicinal this honey is, but there's no question it's delicious. Then there's one called a cinnamon tincture for stabilizing blood sugar. If you're troubled by high or low blood sugar, try this tasty remedy. In concert with a healthy diet, plenty of exercise, and reduction in stress levels, cinnamon can be extremely helpful in regulating blood sugar. So it says 2 to 4 ounces of chopped cinnamon bark and then 80 proof alcohol, brandy, vodka, or gin. Okay, it's a tincture, guys. It's a tincture. So interesting. Okay, another one that I need to try. Very, very interesting. Okay, well, that does it for talking about cinnamon. Down below. Oh, wait, there's a couple more. There's a cinnamon spice chai. That sounds delightful. Warming cinnamon bath salts. Says bathe in cinnamon. Why not? Cinnamon is warming, decongesting, antiseptic, and antiviral, and is a wonderful aid for colds and congestion. Any sea salt will do, but use large Celtic or Celtic. Salt grains, if you can find them, as they add more minerals to the bath water. Okay, well, there you go. Something else potentially to try. All right, let me know down below. How do you use cinnamon? Are there recipes that I need to be trying? Is there some story that you have about using cinnamon as a medicinal, as an herbal medicine, or as medicine, that was very helpful to you that you could share with others? I would love to know. All right, if you're liking this, please like, please share, please subscribe, and I'll see you back here later.